Welcome to SidekicksDirect, your source for the latest news and interviews straight from the Dallas Sidekicks. Help us grow the channel by hitting the subscribe button and being the first to be notified of new content from the team. Now, here's your host, Scott Wegener.
Welcome into Sidekicks Direct. I am so excited we get to actually talk some soccer finally after doing these all throughout the off season. But first, let's take care of a little business. Put yourself in the boots of a soldier in the U.S. Army and take real steps towards becoming a leader while you make a real difference in the world around you. You'll gain leadership skills in one of more than 150 career fields. Find out if you qualify, take a step forward, and become a leader that can make a difference. See yourself in our boots at goarmy.com/DFW. Like I said, we finally get to talk a little bit of soccer. I had to bring Juan Gamboa back as my first guest to talk a little soccer. He was my first guest on Sidekicks Direct, and now he's my first guest after the Central Cup has concluded. First off, Juan, how are you doing, man?
Doing well, Scott. Thank you for having me. It's always good to talk about some soccer with you.
So the Central Cup kicked off just a few weeks ago. The Sidekicks went 2-1 in that little mini tournament that we did here throughout the Midwest, I suppose, in North Texas and then the Midwest. So we'll kind of delve into it a little bit deeper here momentarily, but just overall thoughts of the Central Cup, playing against the Wings, St. Louis and Kansas City, and then we'll kind of jump into each game.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good little preseason tournament, a good way to get our toes in the water again and see where we're at. We had 3 or 4 great teams competing against each other, and I mean, it was just fun, and it felt good to be out there again.
All right, so let's jump into the first game. You guys battled the Kansas City Comets, who for 3.5 quarters, it was a game. I mean, it was close. It was 4-3 in the fourth. What were your thoughts on that first game? It was the first game that you guys had played together as a team, especially with a lot of new faces out there and some familiar faces, but that weren't with the Sidekicks last season. What was that first game like for you guys?
I mean, just what it is, a first game, a way for us to see where we're at, a way to see what we could fix and what needed to be corrected. So like you said, it was a good close game. In the end, we just tried to go for the win. And once you start attacking a little bit more, you create those spaces in the back, and they took advantage and scored those last couple breakaway goals that they got.
So I was watching the highlights of the game, and there's a save that you made, and it was in either the first or I think it was in the first quarter. It might have been early in the first one, and they rip a shot that looks like it's going upper 90. And I mean, I didn't know that you could jump that high, but you got fully off the ground, landed hard. Do you know the save that I'm talking about?
Yeah, I remember that save.
So I just got to ask, man, how does it feel when you hit the ground from that high up after making such an acrobatic save just to get your fingertips on it?
I mean, it feels a lot better when you actually get to push the ball out. So when you save it, it feels good. When you don't save it, you kind of take your time and try and feel if you're still in a whole piece once you're getting up. But I mean, I just try and go out and do my part, and luckily I got a fingertip, like you said, and pushed it away.
So you had a number of good saves in that Kansas City game. I mean, you could argue that you kept the Sidekicks in that 1 through 3.5 quarters in it before, like you said, things kind of got away. You guys were pushing to, score the extra goal to tie things up at 4. Did you think that was a good warm-up for you, being just kind of thrown to the wolves with a quality team like Kansas City who can really get some shots off, and you were able to make some good saves? Or do you like it a little bit easier for that first game where you can kind of maybe relax a little bit and don't have to quite dive around so much?
No, it's always good to get a whole jump in there. So I was glad that I was able to feel comfortable in the goal. I felt like I did what I could. Like you said, I felt like my reactions, although they're not fully there, they're still around, and they'll just improve as the season goes on. So it felt good being able to help the team out and letting them know that they can still trust me and be confident with me in the back.
And obviously, Kansas City put a lot of pressure on you getting away from the saves, but maybe talking a little bit more about the foot skills that an indoor goalie has to have. And I think I think it's something that you excel in. As a matter of fact, I think you're one of the better passers in this league overall, and one of the best passers as a goalie. What was it like kind of getting your feet wet with, going back and forth with the guys and playing it out of the back, your first time at the Allen Event Center and, in about 10 months here? What was it like being back on that surface compared to practice and knocking the ball around with the guys around the back and kind of finding your footing, so to speak?
Yeah, like you said, it's always fun to be out there knocking the ball around. The Allen Event Center is a little bit bigger than our practice facility, so you get to see those spaces a little bit more. And I just try and make sure that my feet are as on point as I can get them. And with our system of play, the system requires the goalie to be on the ball a lot and getting out of pressure. So I'll just continue to do the best I can, trying to get out and like I said, showing the boys that they can trust me back there.
So you have such a unique view of the game, being that you're obviously always behind the play, essentially, or in front of it as the team's coming at you. But as the sidekicks are moving forward, you are behind the play. We saw Lipe grab a hat trick in the opening game. What did you see from the rest of the team, in front of you as you got to watch the game? What did you think of how the guys looked? Obviously, the 3 goals were great, but what did you think otherwise besides those things?
It was just a way for us to start practicing our tactics, start getting into the positions we want to get into, start seeing what didn't work very well, what might work as we continue through the season. We just tried a couple things, and I think after that game we were able to learn, and that's how we were able to be successful those next couple of games.
Let's jump into game number 2, a game that you actually didn't play in. Sonaldo was in goal for the Sidekicks, a recent signing for the team. What did you think of the Wings game and how Sonaldo played?
He has so much experience. We're just lucky to have him be part of the team. I'm glad I have someone who I can co-goalie with and learn off of and get some of that experience that I might haven't been able to get in the last couple of years. Like I told him, I've never had a more experienced goalie with me, so I'm just glad he's here, and I'm going to try and learn as much as I can from him.
And what did you like on the? I'm assuming you watched the game with the Wings, because I think I saw you sending out messages about it. What did you think of how the offense played? And honestly, there were some golazos in that game from the Sidekicks. What did you think overall of that one?
Great team play. They moved the ball around really well. They defended the way we were trying to get to defend now. So you saw our, it was a back and forth game, but I think overall, like you said, the finishing was on point. The boys were being confident in shooting from outside the lines and doing what we're asked of at practice. So I think once more the boys get more confident and feel more secure with themselves, that they'll be able to put some nice goals away. Because I get to live it at practice. They all have shots. They can all shoot. So
I want to ask you about one player specifically, and he's a new addition to the Sidekicks. He was actually our last guest on SidekicksDirect, and his name is Oscar Romero, and he hit one from the yellow line that went upper 90, and the Wings goalie wasn't even able to move. I've watched him a little bit with North Texas SC, where he was playing previously. He also played in Mexico with Tigres, who I believe won the CONCACAF Champions League last night.
Yeah, they just won last night. Yep.
In a pretty entertaining game. But what is your take on Oscar Romero? Because I'm really high on him. I think he's looked great in the times that I've seen him, and we saw the shot from him. What is it like going against that guy in practice?
He's very technical. He's very skillful with the ball, and like you said, he has a great shot. So anytime he gets that space, we're gonna want him to feel confident and take his shot. But he's also a hard worker. He gets back and defends. And he's overall, the little bit I've been able to see of him in practice, he's going to be a great addition to the team. We're excited to have him.
All right, let's move on. Actually, real quickly with the Wings game. So in the Wings game, we saw Sonaldo, who moved the ball forward a little bit more than we're typically used to seeing. And then I actually noticed that as well in the St. Louis game, that you were kind of getting out to the side and maybe playing some of those balls a little bit longer to stretch the defense and just keep them a little bit more honest. Is that something that you're looking to do a little bit more often? Because those long ball passes from you, I think of it most specifically last year in the Utica game when you guys were trying to battle back and you were down a goal or two in the fourth quarter. I mean, you play an absolutely perfect ball like 95% of the time over the top. Is that something that you're trying to do a little bit more often and utilize that skill of yours?
I mean, anytime they start pressuring a lot and we feel that their pressure is they're trying to cheat a little bit too much, I feel like we're always going to try and get them back where they need to be and surprise them every once in a while so we have a little bit more liberty coming out of the back. But anytime I see it, I mean, I'm going to play those balls as often as I can. If it's on, I'm going to play them. If we have a chance to play out of the back, we'll play out of the back. But our first look is always to our forward. And if he has space, we're going to find him as quickly as possible. So it's not something that we don't want to do. It's just if it's on, it's on. And like you said, I feel confident in my long ball, and if it's on, I'm gonna get it there, like you said, pretty accurately most of the time.
I mean, it also has to help when you've got a guy that's been playing the league for 37 years in Freddie Mugin, who knows where every bounce is going to go, right?
Yeah, he makes it so easy. He just points off to the side. I'm like, okay, there it goes. Go have some fun. So yeah, he makes it easy, and I mean, anytime you have that type of experience up top, it makes the game a lot easier for everyone.
I want to talk about another forward, and I don't think you got a chance to play with him because he only played in the Wings game. You've got the experience of Freddie Mugin, and then you've got a guy like Scott Wegener who has come in. He looks like a monster out there. First off, when he was out there against Wichita, I mean, he stands at 6'5", but when he was out there against Wichita, he looked huge. Like, I think he's bigger than Pereira. What's it been like playing with him and having such a giant target man up there who can go both ways and who can reach so far with you, to reach out and, get balls away from defenders that are trying to move it forward, and it provides a bigger target for you.
I mean, he's been great. He's trying to learn the game as quickly as possible. I think he's actually ahead of where we thought he'd be this soon. So he's learning the game. He's working hard. He's listening. He's adjusting to what needs to happen while he's playing. So we're excited to have him. And like you said, I mean, when you have such a big guy up there, just his presence creates a different feeling for the opposing team. Seeing such a big guy makes them kind of have to take a little bit more. They have to pay more attention to him. Yeah. So that helps create more space around for the other guys. And like I said, he's a great addition, and we're excited to have him. Hope he can do some good things for us.
All right, I want to get into the St. Louis ambush game, a game which you guys won. You played particularly well. The Sidekicks jumped out to a lead. You had a couple of good saves, really good saves in that first half. But I want to go specifically to the fourth quarter, and they were playing with their sixth attacker. Paulo, their goalie, came out and acted as their sixth attacker. When you're going against the sixth attacker, when you're on defense against that sixth attacker, what's it like as a goalkeeper as you're shifting side to side as they're trying to move the ball and get the defense out of sorts so they can find that passing lane? Are you shuffling side to side? What are you looking for behind you and in front of you? Give me your thought process as that's all happening.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I mean, I have to make sure my defenders are knowing where their forwards and their players are at all times. So I have to try and communicate back post, watch your left. We always try and organize everybody so that they have as little space as possible. But I mean, with sixth attacker, they always have an extra guy. So one of our guys is working his butt off to try and cover two guys as quickly as possible. And as a keeper, you're just trying to be in the best position in case they do get a shot off. You're there to hopefully make the save and get us out of trouble. I'm
going to get back to that momentarily, but I'm looking over, what would that be, your left shoulder. And you were talking about your defenders and getting them organized. What's it like to have a guy back like Mike Jones, who's played in this league for a long time? You're obviously very comfortable with, and he really is an elite defender in this league. What's it like having him back there and being able to have that much trust in a guy?
Yeah, I mean, we're glad he's back. He's a great player, like you said. He does everything the right way. He works hard. He does everything he's supposed to on the field. Like you said, you know that he's going to be able to handle himself and handle his defensive duties. So I mean, just having him out there creates a little bit more easiness. I don't know what to say. Just we understand that he's there. We know he's going to do his job, and that makes us a little bit more confident out of the back. And I mean, just knowing we have someone of his caliber back there is going to help tremendously.
I feel like every time I see Mike playing defense and there's a guy coming at him, I know he got crossed a little bit in that Kansas City game. He got a little bit turned around, but I feel like every time he's in front of a guy, like they'll try to take a shot and he always gets a foot or a thigh or a chest or gets in front of the guy enough to deflect it. And the deflections, a lot of times in indoor, deflections can be a bad thing, because they can go around a guy. And we saw that on the Lipe goal against St. Louis where it deflected off a guy and went past Paulo. It always feels like Jones is just in that perfect spot. Does that give you a kind of when he's defending, do you have a little bit more, breath of fresh air almost when you see him in front of a guy?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, he's so experienced that even his positioning when he's gonna block a shot, he's gonna block his side. So as a goalie, he's got first post. I can take second post, and you can be confident that nothing's gonna get through first post if Mike Jones is covering that area. So we still have a couple other guys that maybe turn a little bit too much, but with Mike, he's going to stand his ground and help you protect his stuff. And so yeah, he's a great blocker. He knows what he's doing. He's always in the right way, like you said. And I mean, as a goalie, that's all you can ask for, a little bit of help to cover that 8x12 goal that we have to protect.
So this is going to segue perfectly into my next question. Late in the St. Louis game, it's again 6-on-5. They've got the sixth attacker on. Mike Jones is playing defense. That would be on your left-hand side. They had a shot that came across the face of the goal, and you had the far post covered, so you had that trust in Mike Jones. You have your guys on the backside. I mean, is it kind of a leap of faith that you have to trust that they're going to be there so that, there's not the Freddie Mugin tap-in goal on the backside? Because you can't cover everything. And you guys did a great job of it, obviously, the other night against St. Louis. How comfortable do you feel when the ball goes past your leg, it's not getting in past you that way, that your defenders are going to be there on the backside for you?
Yeah, I mean, we've worked a lot on that back post covering. I think we had a little bit of trouble over the last couple of years reading that second post tap in, like you're saying. So we've been working on that a lot. And I mean, I think overall these first 3 games, we've improved tremendously on that part. So hopefully we can continue and get better at not letting those easy tap ins in. Because like you said, I have a position I have to cover, and I have to trust that my defenders will be where they need to be so that they can protect that second post if I do have to go first post. It's just little transitions we have to make as players.
All right, I want to have a little bit of fun now. We like I said, I was so excited to finally talk about some actual soccer. You guys finished second in the Central Cup. First off, before I get to a little bit of fun, were you pretty satisfied with the results from the Cup? Obviously, you'd like to win all 3, but as a team, did you feel pretty confident after those 3 games?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone was able to see the improvement over those what was it, a week of playing, 3 games, and I think that last game was our best game overall. So that's always good to see that we can improve in such a short amount of time, and we got everybody a chance to play. Everyone got their feet wet a little bit. So overall, I mean, it was a successful preseason tournament for us. we did what we had to do. We learned a little bit about ourselves. We got to show the younger boys the game in a real action situation. So I think overall it was successful, and I mean we left happy. We know Kansas was a strong team, and then they did everything they needed to do all 3 games. So we're glad we got to play those 3 games, and hopefully we can keep improving from there.
Get some retribution on Kansas City on January 2nd at the Allen Event Center for the home opener. All right, I want to have just a little bit of fun. I know you got a dip for practice here shortly. Pre-game meal. What does Juan Gamboa have before the game? Are you a superstitious guy and have the same thing, or do you mix it up?
I mix it up. I mean, it depends if I'm at home, if we're out traveling and stuff like that. So just depends. We try and eat at least 3.5 hours before the game, just so that by the time game time hits, we're ready for action and all that stuff. But I try and keep it light on game days, and then once the game's over, that's where the good stuff comes in. But before the game, me having to be so quick on my feet and just having to be reactive, I think I always try and eat either a salad or some type of light protein or something like that, just to have something in the stomach that's going to help and benefit my body. And then, like I said, once the game's over, that's where I go crazy on whatever I want.
So what's the post-game meal look like? Are we talking like steak and lobster? Are we talking sweets? Cake, ice cream? What are we looking at?
I mean, whatever gets in the way, actually. If we're at home, I'll stop by, probably get a bunch of fast food and go chill at home and just munch it down at home and relax. And if we're out on a trip, we usually try and go to like some Italian place, something to recarb up and all that stuff. So, I mean, whatever gets in the way, it's gonna go down.
All right, I want to talk a little bit about the fam. Obviously, I got to say hi to your wonderful wife Jamie at the preseason game. I've missed her, man. She's a firecracker.
Yeah.
But wanted to also ask, how are the little babies doing, man? They're almost got to be close to a year old now.
They're actually about to be 16 months, or they just turned 16 months. Actually, wow. Yeah. What are we, the 23rd? They actually turned 16 months yesterday. So, yeah, they're growing fast, man. It was awesome getting to see them at the game, that first preseason game. My baby boy, he acted really well. He was watching, he was enjoying himself. So that was, every time I looked up and saw him, it was just a little burst of energy and happiness. And I mean, getting to see both of them. My baby girl was out there too, dressed up as a little Sidekicks cheerleader. I mean, it's just an awesome experience to just be able to see them out there in the crowd. And my goal has always been to keep playing until they are able to remember actually going to the games and watching me. So hopefully I have a couple more years left in me so that they can get to experience it and actually remember it when they get older.
I feel pretty confident that you've got a few years left in you at that keeper position. Real quickly, before this will be my last question for you. You know, you've got guys that have been in this league for a long time. We talk about the Paulos from St. Louis, and there's obviously one of the guys that people consider one of the best indoor goalies of all time in Danny Waltman. You know, a couple more years, and I've said this for a while. I'm obviously a homer. I consider you a friend of mine. I love chatting with you all the time, but I think you're one of the best goalies in this league. For the amount of shots that you have taken against you, especially these past couple of seasons where the Sidekicks have maybe struggled a little bit more defensively, do you think that, you know, a couple more years that you're going to be put in that conversation of, wow, this guy really is one of the top 2, 3, I can't remember the guy's name out in Ontario who had a great season as well, and now he's with Tacoma. It's escaping me right now, but is that something that you shoot for? Chris Toth.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's always been the goal, just to make an impact and be someone that people remember. Like you said, I've been in the league a while. My first couple seasons, I was able to have the successes that everyone dreams of, and that was one game. I mean, I made it to semifinal, final, first team all league type of stuff. And I mean, what you're saying, I personally feel it. I mean, I know it's not good to
No, it's
to
okay,
think
man.
of oneself like that, but I always feel like I'm back there. I do my job. I help the team out in whatever I can. Um, Statistically and win percentages have not been in our favor as an organization in the last couple of years, but personally, I've always felt that I've done what I could to help the team, and I mean, I know I'm not at the level that some of those guys are, and with their experience and their 12, 15 plus years of playing. But I'm at 9 this year. This is my 9th season. I'm getting up there, and I feel like overall, I've done a pretty good job, and I've been happy with my performances. I've had some bad performances along the way, but overall, I think I've been a pretty trustworthy person in the back, and I've always let my team know that they can feel confident with me back there, and made the saves I've been able to. And I mean, I hope one day I'll be able to be in that conversation, if not at the very top, somewhere in the conversation. Just being mentioned would be an honor. So, I mean, I'm just going to keep working hard and trying to help this team be successful.
Listen, man, I'm always on the Juan Gamboa hype train. Like I said, I think you're a fan, absolutely fantastic goalie. Last one, I'll let you get out of here then and head to practice. Prediction, January 2nd. You guys get to face Kansas City again. What do you got for a prediction, my man?
I mean, hopefully we learned enough from that first preseason game to come out on top. We've been working hard. We're still working hard. We'll be working hard till that game comes, because I mean, we owe it to the fans. We owe it to everybody in the organization to get that win and get this 2021 season started off on the right foot. I mean, we more than anybody want to get the wins. We want to provide the happiness for the fans. We want the fans to have a good time out there. We want them to feel good about supporting us. We don't want to be down in the lower levels anymore. We want to bring this organization back to where it's supposed to be. So, I mean, we're working our butt off, and hopefully January 2nd, like you said, we'll get that win and we'll get off on the right foot.
All right. Well, that was an answer to a question, but I asked you, what is your prediction for the game? You could be. Give me I think it'll be close, obviously.
Yeah, it's gonna be close because they have they can run. They're very good at the counterattacks, and I want to say we will end up winning 7-5. That's my prediction. We'll be up 7-5. It'll be close, and then we're gonna come out up top at the end.
Hey, listen, man. If you win 7-5 or better, you give up less than 5 goals, your after game meal is on me. How's that sound? I'll treat you to some In-N-Out.
Sounds good to me, man. I'll try my best to keep it under 5.
Hey, if In-N-Out isn't good enough for you, I don't know what else can motivate you any more than that. So,
Yeah.
Juan, listen, always a pleasure. I look forward to seeing you on the 2nd. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic Christmas and holidays with the family. And we wish you the best, and I look forward to chatting with you soon.
Same to you, Scott. Thank you for having me. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. If you don't hear it before Christmas, hope everyone had a good Christmas, and see you on January 2nd.
All right. Have a good one, Juan. Thanks.
Thank you. You too.